Miyamoto Musashi, the unrivaled under the heavens, and Thorfinn from Vinland Saga, two iconic swordsmen in anime. And in this video we're going to be talking about why the battle between this two isn't close. But before that, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more of this anime scaling videos. Miyamoto Musashi, a wandering samurai with a mastery of the sword that borders on the supernatural. His legendary duels, relentless training, and profound insights into the way of the sword have solidified his status as one of the greatest swordsmen in fiction. Thorfinn, a young Viking on a path of vengeance and self-discovery. His swift and brutal combat style, honed through years of hardship, showcases his formidable prowess with weapons, turning him into a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. While the idea of a battle between these two swordsmen might seem intriguing, there are core elements that make this matchup far from being an evenly matched showdown. Musashi's journey is one of spiritual enlightenment through combat. His dual sword style incorporates a unique blend of offensive and defensive techniques. His battles are a symphony of technique, philosophy, and sheer force, a result of countless duels and years of introspection. On the other hand, Thorfinn's approach to combat is grounded in instinctive, survival-oriented tactics. His ferociousness on the battlefield, honed through a desire for revenge, might hold an advantage in certain scenarios. But it's a far cry from the profound and skilled martial philosophy of Musashi. Now let's get into the feats of these characters. The system I'm going to be using to scale or rank both of them will be stamina, strength, speed, skill, and lastly durability. Now I don't think I need to waste time on this aspect, because if you've read Vagabond and you've watched Vinland Saga, you would know why Musashi is winning when it comes to stamina. As Musashi fought 70 trained swordsmen at once, and I've not seen Thorfinn perform any feat that comes close to this, as Thorfinn has only killed 63 men in the whole anime. And this was not at once, and some of them were mere villagers. Next up we have strength. One of Musashi's greatest feats that clearly shows his raw strength was when he was able to kill 6 swordsmen with the sheath of his sword. Musashi also defeated Denshichiro in battle, and Denshichiro was able to cleanly cut through a boulder. But despite that, Musashi was still able to block his attacks. And I've not yet seen Thorfinn perform any feat that is close to this, at least in the anime. Assuming it was the manga, then Musashi being stronger would be debatable. Now this is a very interesting one for me because according to Versus Battle Wiki, Thorfinn is ranked Subsonic Plus, and Musashi is Subsonic, which is lower than Subsonic Plus. Now if you are ranked Subsonic, you are moving at 34 meters per second to 171 meters per second. And at that range you are moving faster than what the human eye can see. So the concept of Thorfinn moving faster than that is just wild to me. Because at Subsonic Plus, you are moving at 171 meters per second to 308 meters per second, which is almost the speed of some bullets. To me, that's not just possible, as I never saw Thorfinn moving anywhere near that in the anime. And if he was moving at that speed, he shouldn't have had any issue against Thorkel. Because I don't see Thorkel dodging or blocking any bullets. As for Musashi, his ranking is very correct. Because as we've seen in the manga, where the couple that was witnessing the battle between Itusai and Musashi couldn't comprehend what happened in the fight. Now I wouldn't say Thorfinn is lower than Musashi when it comes to speed. Instead, he would have the same ranking as Musashi, with Musashi having greater attack speed than Thorfinn. Thorfinn's swordsmanship is pretty good. He was able to defeat multiple swordsmen in battle, and he was even able to land some blows on the mighty Thorkel. But his swordsmanship wasn't great, at least nowhere near Musashi. Even Thorkel mentioned it, saying Thorfinn's swordsmanship is mundane.
確かに強いが、お前の剣はなんかこう普通って感じ?
Thorfinn's swordsmanship is pretty good against most people. But against someone like Musashi, it doesn't come close. Musashi's whole life was about following the way of the sword and improving his technique. He became so good that at one point he was able to cleanly cut a leaf in the air, and could still defeat multiple opponents while he was unable to walk properly. Whereas Thorfinn spent most of his life focusing on vengeance and the rest as a slave in a farm. And lastly, we have durability. Now, I know everyone's mind is instantly going to think Thorfinn is going to win this here, especially because of the 100 punches Thorfinn received in Season 2. But this feat of Thorfinn is immediately cancelled out, as Musashi doesn't use his fist to fight but instead a blade. But now the question is, does Musashi have more durability than Thorfinn? And I would say yes, especially because of the fight with the 70 swordsmen. That fight is pretty self-explanatory as to why Musashi has greater durability. So after looking at all these aspects, I think it's pretty clear why Musashi is winning this battle. And personally, I think if Musashi and Thorfinn were to actually meet, they wouldn't fight, but instead they would probably just share some stories and have a great time together. Especially because the main purpose of creating the anime wasn't for the fighting, but actually the opposite of that. And I just made this video because I thought it was a pretty interesting video. Also, I'd like to hear your own opinion about this fight, and if you think it would turn out differently. And let me know what fight you'd like me to talk about next. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, and also check out this video where we talk about Gojo versus Itachi.